Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to take your earthly intuition and completely shatter it. Seriously, when we step off our home planet and look out into the cosmos, literally everything we think we know about how the world works just gets flipped upside down. We're going to dive into 8 incredible, highly researched facts from recent astronomical studies that are for sure going to change how you look at the night sky forever.
So it begs a pretty serious question, right? Do we actually understand the universe? I mean, we live our day-to-day lives governed by Earth physics, oxygen-heavy air, and human scales of time. But as we're about to see, outer space plays by a completely different set of rules. Rules that absolutely defy human logic. We're talking about distances that'll bend your mind, and physical reactions that honestly seem like pure magic. The universe is way, way stranger than fiction.
Okay, let's dive right into this with Section 1, our deceiving solar system. We'll start by taking a look in our own cosmic backyard.
You know, we look at diagrams of the solar system and kind of think we have a solid grasp of our place in it. But the reality of how mass is distributed, it's staggering. The sun doesn't just sit in the middle. It completely and utterly dominates the mass of our solar system, making up 99.86% of it. Everything else, every single asteroid, comet, and planet, is crammed into that microscopic 0.14% sliver. And get this, of that tiny leftover fraction, the 4 gas giants, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, they make up 99% of it. It's a reality check that brilliantly illustrates just how tiny Earth really is compared to our local star. We're basically a cosmic rounding error.
And speaking of scale, let's think about the distance between the Earth and the Moon. When you look up at night, the Moon feels relatively close, right? But the average distance is a vast 384,400 kilometers. To put that massive gap into perspective, you could actually take all the other planets in our entire solar system, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Mars, Venus, and Mercury, line them all up side by side, and they would perfectly fit into the space between Earth and the Moon. Actually, scratch that. It's even crazier. After fitting every single planet in there, you'd still have about 8,030 kilometers of empty space left over. The sheer emptiness of space, even right next door to us, is just mind-blowing.
Let's zoom out a bit and see how this shifts our understanding of cosmic time. Just like it takes Earth a year to orbit the Sun, our entire solar system is moving too. It takes us between 225 and 250 million years to complete just one orbit around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Scientists call this a galactic year. So the last time our solar system was in this exact spot relative to the galactic center was roughly 250 million years ago. To put that staggering time frame into perspective, dinosaurs were just beginning to roam the Earth exactly 1 galactic year ago. Crazy, right?
Moving on to Section 2, Rules of the Void, where we get into some truly bizarre space physics.
As we push deeper into space, you can pretty much throw your high school physics textbook right out the window. I gotta warn you, the rules of matter change dramatically once you hit the vacuum. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is a bizarre phenomenon called cold welding. If two pieces of the exact same type of metal simply touch in the vacuum of space, they will spontaneously bond together and become one single solid piece. No heat, no melting, no welding torches required. They just touch and boom, they're permanently fused. So why exactly does this happen? Well, on Earth, our atmosphere is packed with oxygen, which causes metals to naturally form this microscopic, thin layer of oxidized metal on their surfaces. That oxidation acts as a physical barrier. But out in the vacuum of outer space, there's absolutely zero atmospheric oxygen, which means that protective oxidized barrier simply doesn't exist. Without it, when the atoms of two identical pieces of metal touch, they literally don't know they're separate objects. The atoms just share their electrons and bond into a single piece. It's a brilliant example of how much we rely on the invisible gases we breathe every single day.
All right, on to Section 3, Scale and Secrets, where we look at some truly unfathomable sizes.
Let's guide our focus even further out into the deep cosmos. Out in the void, we find structures that are so massive they honestly challenge the limits of human imagination. 10 million. This massive number represents the terrifying power of the Pistol Star. It's one of the largest and brightest known stars in existence, shining an unbelievable 10 million times brighter than our own sun. It sits about 25,000 light-years away from Earth. But here's the absolute wildest secret about it. Despite its overwhelming size and blinding brightness, if you look up into the night sky, you can't see it. No way. It's completely hidden from our view by thick, dense clouds of interstellar dust.
And the numbers only get more mind-bending from there. 140 trillion. Back in 2011, scientists discovered the oldest and largest water tank in existence, just floating out there in deep space surrounding a supermassive black hole known as a quasar. To give you a sense of scale, the amount of water in this massive cosmic reservoir is equivalent to 140 trillion times the water found in all of Earth's oceans combined. Just try to picture that. Every ocean, every sea, every single drop of water on our entire planet, multiplied by 140 trillion, swirling around a supermassive black hole.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer, unimaginable scale of the universe as a whole. You've probably heard this comparison before, but complex scientific calculations have actually confirmed it. There are literally more stars in the vast universe than there are grains of sand on all of Earth's beaches and deserts combined. Think about that for a second. Every grain of sand you've ever stepped on, across every coastline and every giant dune in the Sahara, there are more massive, burning suns out there in the cosmos than all of those tiny grains put together.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, the missing universe, or what's hiding in the dark.
We're going to pivot to the final and honestly the most mind-bending realization of this whole explainer. After talking about the colossal pistol star, giant planets, and water reservoirs 140 trillion times the size of our oceans, we have to face a pretty humbling truth. Everything we've just discussed, the Earth, our massive sun, the giant planets, the pistol star, the oceans of water, and more stars than grains of sand, all of it, every single thing we can see, touch, or detect with normal light makes up a mere 4% of the entire universe. Just 4%.
So where's the rest? Well, the overwhelming majority of our universe is made up of components that we simply cannot see or easily detect with our current instruments. 23% of the universe is dark matter, and a massive 73% is dark energy. Now, keep in mind, these are basically just placeholder names, because scientists are still actively struggling to understand what these mysterious components actually are. They literally shape the cosmos, hold galaxies together, and drive the expansion of the universe, yet they remain entirely 100% invisible to us.
All of which leaves us with a final, pretty awe-inspiring question. If all the billions of galaxies, the black holes, the exploding stars, and all the spontaneous physical reactions we explored today only represent a tiny 4% sliver of reality, what exactly is hiding in the dark? As we keep studying the cosmos, maybe one day we'll finally pull back the curtain on that remaining 96%. But until then, keep looking up and never stop questioning the reality around you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.